Hello, everybody. My name is Alexis. I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, and author of the book A Journey into Truth, Unveiling Life's Secrets for Truth Seekers. And you are watching the Vibrate to Create YouTube channel. And on this channel, I talk about life, philosophy, meaning, art, spirituality, metaphysics, and so much more. If you're interested in topics like these, then click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of when I post new videos so you never miss a video. Thank you for being a part of my journey. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So we're about to go live on air with Lex Gonzalez. Okay, the ring light is a little bit... Okay, I think that's good. All right, we made it. We're here. And you can see my arms. I'm not all super close up. I have a little bit of a different setup here today, so hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully everything is good. It's kosher. Is that the right term to use right now? Anyways, it was quite the event to set up today, to get here to the studio, to get ready, to get everything all set up together. But we're here. We made it. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me today. I'm still working on that intro, so it's not going to stay the same. Obviously, the words behind it will stay the same, but I might tweak with the music and also with some of the pictures that show up during that little segment of the intro. But again, I think that'll make it much easier for me in editing because I won't have to add those tiny little clips of the book and of subscribe button and all those different things, because that takes up a good chunk of time at the beginning too when I'm actually editing. So having a set intro will be, I think, a little bit easier for me, or save a little bit of time. So in my entrepreneurship classes, he talks all about creating systems that really enhance or that save you time, because time is money. So creating systems where things are in place, where you know exactly where things are, folders, things like that. So things are easy to find, so you don't have to go searching. So that's what I'm doing here, creating a system for an introduction for the videos. So I don't have to do it every single time or to introduce myself every time I get on to do a video. So that's where I'm at with that today. I hope you're enjoying seeing the process of everything unfolding, and it's inspiring you to go out and create your own things. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about... So as I was driving here to the studio, I got this idea that I really want to talk about spirituality and skepticism, which I think skepticism is a really good thing, actually. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can also be a bad thing when we have too much skepticism. So I actually have a family member who, whenever any kind of spiritual talk comes up, any kind of, like we were talking about precognitive dreams, because somebody was asking me about precognitive dreams and about energy and things like that. So I just kind of shared my ideas and beliefs and the things I've learned, because, you know, I've been studying this field for years and years with many different teachers and people and modalities that have to do with things like psychology even, and just the consciousness and the human spirit, I guess you would call it. And not necessarily just the woo-woo spiritual stuff. It was also very down-to-earth kind of spirituality for me, because I feel like when I began, I was a very realistic person. I was also very skeptical. I still am pretty skeptical. But yeah, so this came up with a family member, and he was kind of just saying like, oh, I don't believe in anything at all that science can't prove, and like it has to be this way, and you know, and I honor that too when people are that way. I don't try to convert them or say like, no, it is this way. It's just kind of like, cool, that's what you believe, and I believe what I believe because of my experiences and the things that I have encountered and learned and the teachers I've seen and the different things I've experienced in my own consciousness. And that's where my beliefs come from. So anyways, it came up and they were just saying like how I won't even touch it. Like immediately when the conversation about spirituality and spirits and energy comes up, it's like, I can't hear you. That's kind of the underlying thought there, which is, it's very common actually in our society and the things, you know, that we're surrounded with. A lot of people are very much like, the moment that energy comes up, it's like, nope. Which it makes sense, because in a lot of religious senses, or what is the word? Like religious groups or organizations, many times spirituality or things like profits can be used to actually profit from people and to take money from people. So it's understandable why you would be skeptical, or why it's actually wise to be skeptical when you're stepping into this field, because there is the possibility for scams. Like even online, I see different mediums that I know in real life. Like I know them in person, I've met them, we've done trainings together. And online, sometimes people will take their pictures or their videos and start putting it out onto their own fake page. Like they'll change like one little letter, and then they'll start reaching out to people and saying, oh, I can give you a psychic reading, I can do this, I can do that, if you pay me this much money and send it to my PayPal. But it's in actuality not the actual psychic, so they're not going to be getting a real reading. And just little things like that. Like there are people who are out there to scam and not to actually help people. But I have also encountered in real life people who are very passionate about helping other people, and people who are actually really tuning into and have lived their life training and developing as a psychic or as a medium. And it's like very real. And so the reason I wanted to talk a little bit about skepticism in the spiritual field is because I think it's almost like it's a scale. Like it has to be, it's very wise to be here in the middle, because if you're over here where it's like, I believe anything anybody says, then you're very what's the word? You're very impressionable. You're very easy to influence, very easy to take from, very easy to give your power away to somebody else. But if you're all the way over here and where you're like, nope, no spirituality, no energetic, no nothing, Reiki, what? If you're over here, then that leaves absolutely no room to discover and develop and understand brand new truths about the nature of who you really are. And I feel like the wise perception, or the wise way to step into this field and to start taking your own steps in this field, is to have an open mind and to be aware that sometimes people don't have the best of intentions, but also that there are very real experiences that you yourself can have in this field if you're willing to actually take the steps and the journey to start learning or to start developing. And that doesn't even mean paying a bunch of money to teachers to teach you something. It can just mean start going out and reading books like I did when I first began. Start going out and searching up on YouTube the nature of reality. Start looking into things like physics. Start looking into different kinds of beliefs and opinions and awarenesses. And then as you develop, maybe go join free groups or go join communities, or just do your research, I would say, is so important when you're stepping into this field. And I definitely did lots of research. I did like 7 years so far of really diving into these topics. And it's been one of the best and most fun and most exciting journeys I've ever been on. I've met so many beautiful people, and I wouldn't be standing here in front of you able to talk about it if I hadn't gone on that journey and gained the wisdom from the teachers I learned from. And it was from so many different modalities and so many different belief systems. And I definitely went to free groups to talk to monks and to talk to, just different people to gain their wisdom. And I feel like that's really what helped me in life. It's what really helped me to get through some really tough circumstances. And the other day I was watching this podcast with Jordan Peterson and Lex. I feel like it's Friedman or Friedman. I don't know how you say his last name, but I'll link it down below as well. But they were talking about how, well, I guess the question that came up was, what is God, or is God real? And so Jordan Peterson was talking about like his take on God, and also how having faith in something, no matter what you call it, the universe, source, wherever life comes from, that will lead you into a more optimistic future, a more optimistic way of moving in the world, because you can become very nihilistic and very feel as if there was no meaning or purpose to life if you really go down the rabbit hole of none of it exists, and have your mind so closed and be so on this side that you don't actually understand the miracle of us being here on this earth, and of how I don't even know how I got here, really. Well, I guess scientifically we could say, like, I was born by two humans and there was evolution and things like that. But also, like, that doesn't have to be like, it's not spiritual if you believe in evolution. I believe in evolution, but also there has to be something more, because everything in space, and oh my gosh, like, if you really just think about it, and even Albert Einstein was he believed in a higher power or in energy. Like, he was one of the first people who really helped to start the movement of looking into energy and of physics. And to me, it's just mind baffling that people can, like, not be at least open to hearing about ideas about energy and spirituality and metaphysics. Like, to me, that was just like, and I was never scared of it. I was never scared of, like, oh my God, there's going to be evil spirits and I'm going to, like, oh my God. Like, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are very afraid to jump into this field because they're afraid of those kinds of things. I haven't experienced anything like that. To me, it's been a very fulfilling journey, but to each their own. Everybody has their own journeys and their own experiences that they'll have on this path. And whatever your upbringing was like. So, like, let's say your upbringing was where your parents taught you, like, there are evil spirits and you have to protect yourself and you need to use this and you need to, like, throw some holy water on your bed. I think those kinds of beliefs that you are taught growing up can really color your awareness of the spiritual world. And so my teacher, Michael Mayo, he says it's almost like when you walk into a room and there's, like, a ribbon or something on the floor and the room is dark and you believe, like, oh my God, it's a snake. And then you freak out. But then once you turn the lights on, you realize, oh, it's just a ribbon, or it's just, this thing that looks like it could be a snake when the lights are low. So sometimes our belief systems from when we were younger, or the things that we were taught as we were growing up, can kind of make us be like, oh my God, a snake, but it's not actually a snake. But I mean, I have met teachers who really believe in evil spirits. So I'm not dead. So I can't tell you for sure, but I've never experienced anything like that. That's what I can say. I also had another family member who told me they thought I was doing witchcraft. And I was like, no, that's not what I do at all. To me, it's very much just like exploration. It's very much just an open-mindedness to wanting to understand the nature of reality, the nature of where do I come from? Not necessarily biologically about how physically it happens, but where was I before I was born? Where will I go after I'm born? That was very much my wanting to understand so deeply. And I got a lot of awarenesses, a lot of knowledge, but also for a long period of time, I was doing so much meditation, like every single day. Sometimes I would meditate for like hours. And in that state, when you're that, like, blissed out, it's such a beautiful state to be in. Like, everything becomes so much easier and becomes so much more fluid. It's just this different state of being, different state of consciousness when you're there. It's almost like nothing can shake you when you're on that really just that it reminds me of the monks when they say just so steady. your whole life. Like even when you're driving, even when you're eating, and you're so aware and conscious and just in the moment, it's a really beautiful state. It's not one that I think humans, unless you're a monk and your whole sole purpose is to be that and to always live in a monastery, I don't think it's possible in this day and age to stay in that space for eternity. Like, and also I think many times that even that meditation can be used to run away from or to disassociate from actual real life, because real life can be really tough. But my point is, it's not like, well, I guess we did a meditation. One day I did a full day-long meditation, right? And during that day, he walked us over to a different building, me and all the people who were in this retreat. We walked to a different building and we were going to have lunch, but he wanted us to really stay centered. Even though it was in the middle of the city, it was in LA. So it was in the middle of the city, there was cars passing by, and his suggestion was pay attention in here, pay attention to your inner self, your inner body, and focus, no matter what the chaos is outside, to really be the eye of the storm. And when you go to eat, stay centered, stay focused, taste the food when you're eating it, and really allow yourself to feel it move through your body and to feel it become your body, but to really become very aware of every single step you take, every foot that you place on the ground. Pay attention and become very present and aware of everything. And in that state, I'm telling you, if you try it out for some time, it's crazy. It's crazy because you realize like so much more about your real self. And to me, that was one of the things that really helped me to understand, where do I come from before I was born into a physical body? Where am I going to go afterwards? It's like experiencing that here now. I'm like, oh, this is what that is. This is the pure state. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I would recommend it. Maybe one day I'll end up starting to do retreats and I'll end up doing meditation classes and stuff. That'd be really cool. I'd love to do that. Anyways, how did I get there? It's so funny. What else? So yeah, I guess that's the main point here, and we'll kind of wrap this particular video up, and then I may go into some new videos after this. But that's the main point here, is to keep a balance between skepticism and complete. So to really pay attention to being in the middle. And that's not just with spirituality or just with this field of exploration. It's with anything in life. With, some of the political things that come up in our day and age, and the beliefs and ideologies of different sides, to really stay right here in the middle and to stay, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. I think that can lead to a very peaceful life. I find much more peace in that state. So yeah, that's what I've got for you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments if you have ever experienced that state of awareness, or if you've ever meditated, or maybe if you'd like to start meditating. And you don't have to just sit in a car or sit in a dark room and meditate. You can literally, no matter what you're doing, even when you're at work, really pay attention and bring your presence and awareness down into your body and just focus. I think no matter where you're at, like I was talking about earlier, like being the eye of the storm, it can really help to bring more peace. And also from that state of peace, then you can move forward and take maybe sometimes more beneficial action, because action that is taken from fear can be sometimes very detrimental and not having good outcomes. So keeping that level-headedness in life, no matter where you stand, no matter where you are, that calmness, that relaxed state, that flow state can really help you to live a more peaceful life and to take actions that will be more beneficial for you. So That's what I have to say, because that's kind of my experience and what I've experienced from that state. And I can see the difference between when I'm not in that state and I take actions, and when I am in that state and I take actions. It's a very different unfoldment of life. So yeah, that's what I've got for you here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.